What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Plan. Today I want to talk to you about Anthurium Gracile, the most underrated Anthurium in the hobby. Let's check it out.
Alright, so this video I'm just going to spend the whole time trying to convince you why this is a very underrated Anthurium and why I love it so darn much. Full disclosure, I did grow these from seed, so maybe that helps with my attachment, but honestly I really do think these are very beautiful. If you're in any of the Facebook groups for buying and selling, you'll know that there's a lot of really popular Anthuriums out there like Magnificum, Crystallanum, Vitici or whatever it is, and there's the Warraqueem. I can't even say half of them, but they go for hundreds of dollars. But luckily, this Anthurium only goes for like $20 to $30. There's not a lot of people chasing after this, so that's why I think it's very underrated. Also, if you notice the audio does sound a little different, I am in a different location. My son was born successfully, and so I've had to make a few little changes so I can watch him at the same time as I can produce these videos. Thanks again to everyone who said congratulations and kind words to me on the last video when I kind of revealed that he was going to be born. I really appreciate all the love from everybody, and thanks to everyone who said that, so thank you. So just some basic information about this one. This is an epiphyte, and so it really does grow up in trees or in like hanging baskets. If you were to grow it, you're not going to plant this one in the ground. So it does have kind of an aroidy or more like orchid style growth, and that's kind of the care you'll need for it. It grows these really nice long stiff leaves. This is something I really love about this plant. They're not really floppy, they really have some stiffness to them, and they just grow in a really nice pattern. I really love the color and everything about it, and actually I have a lot of these Anthuriums. I grew these all from a bunch of seeds I got from somebody for about like 15 or 20 bucks, and honestly it's been one of the funnest plants I've grown so far. You know, with a lot of the really popular Anthuriums out there, they have sort of patterns on the leaf or they have a really strange leaf structure, but I think where this one shines is the stem that leads to the actual leaf. So what's special about these is the really red geniculum or geniculum, honestly I don't know how to pronounce it, and also the petal. It's kind of a mix between green and red, and it's a really beautiful accent on this plant. Looking really close, you can really see what I'm talking about. On a lot of other Anthuriums that I have, it's just kind of green the whole way through, all the way to the leaf, and then there might be some patterns on the leaf, but for this one specifically, it really has a beautiful red color and texture. I really love it. Additionally, the main actual part of the stem of this Anthurium is also pretty red, and all the new growth comes out of kind of a red sheath, and it's just really awesome to have that beautiful red center followed by all the beautiful long green leaves circling it. I really like its growth pattern and how the leaves sort of kind of spin around it as it grows bigger and bigger, instead of just having leaves that kind of sprout out and face the direction of the light, if that makes any sense. Just look how beautiful that red base is where all the roots are starting to come out, and then as you follow the red base all the way up to the tip of the new growth, you can see the beautiful green leaf emerging. I really love the contrast of the two colors, and I really think it makes this Anthurium stand out. Now, sort of building off of that, talking about the growth specifically, this one does grow out of the very center, but as it gets really old and starts to mature and really fill in its pot, it starts to sprout new growth out of the sides, and I think that's really cool. Mine are still pretty young. I think we're under a year old at this point, but starting to see it kind of take on its next form has been really exciting for me. It's starting to put new leaves out of like random areas more at the very base, and from there's going to be more additional leaves, so it's really going to start filling out that pot with multiple growth points. However, before that actually happens, like I said, it is a very central like growth plant. Everything comes out of the middle, and it's always kind of bright red in the middle, and I just really love the growth style of this plant. Another thing I really love about this Anthurium is because it's a high growing epiphyte, it's got these really orchid like leaves that you usually see in your typical kind of grocery store orchid, where they're very surface level. It uses these to climb upwards and really spread out and kind of grip onto things. But I really love plants with really exposed roots because it's just another visual aspect of the plant that I can enjoy instead of it all hiding under the soil. A lot of other Anthuriums are kind of like this, however I think this one is a little more on the extreme side with the surface roots, and they really are completely exposed and they just kind of grow everywhere. You can even see little root shoots kind of coming out of one of the more main roots, and I think it's really cool, and I just love how it starts to fill the pot. The last and most important reason I really love this Anthurium is how often it puts out inflorescence. This thing has been putting them out since like like 3 or 4. I mean, really early on. It's hardly even mature, and it's just throwing these things out left and right. One of them is even starting to develop its berries, and I'm just absolutely excited to kind of start the second generation of this Anthurium species that I have in my collection. Looking really close at some of the spadix, you can really see the flower that these things produce. You can see where the pollen is, where the pollen has to end up, and just kind of how the berries end up forming. I really love this plant because it's going to produce a lot of berries for me, and I can continue to keep growing more and more of them really fast, and I can just see what they look like generation after generation and try to cross-pollinate with some other anthuriums of mine. I just really love plants that are really rapid growers and rapid flowerers. I hope after seeing all this footage and just kind of learning more about this one, you'll find a little more interest in it. It is a really cool plant to seek out, and like I said, you can get them for pretty cheap.
Well guys, that pretty much sums up this plant spotlight. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little different than some of my other ones because I'm really just introducing you a really cool plant. I hope you guys liked it. I do think this is totally underrated. Not a lot of people are collecting this for some odd reason. Even though it's really awesome, it grows really hardy, it has really nice colors, nice leaves, the list goes on. I really love this plant a lot, and I hope you guys can learn to like this one too. As always, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I'll see you next time.